Hi and welcome. We're going to take a look at The Sick Doll, one of the pieces in Tchaikovsky's children's album, Opus 39. And it's one of three pieces that seem to tell the story, the rather sad story, of our doll. And I'm delighted to make this recording for Thomas, who's learning this piece. And the collection as a whole, I really recommend. There's some real gems in it. And if you like telling stories in your piano playing, this is rich pickings, as is music from this period generally. So I think probably best thing to do, let me play it to you first of all, and then we'll talk through what's going on. The piece is based on a series of chords. It's very, very harmonically based, isn't it? Every bar, uh, yeah, I can see one that isn't, so if you can spot it too. But I was going to say every bar has a four-note chord in it, doesn't it? Um, you'll spot the exception as well. But so a good way to practice it would be just to think through the chords. Again, I'm not worrying about expression too much at this point, just trying to get the notes clear in my head. What am I doing? And I'm playing with the fingers that I think I'm going to be using. Now then, let's look at each hand. We need to, well, no, let's look at them both together from the outset. They're so intertwined in this piece, aren't they? I think it would be invidious to sort of start taking them apart. So we need to hold on to, obviously, that G whilst we play that, and then we're going to add in the final note. There is three things happening in each bar, aren't they, to build up this four-note chord. And that line, tenuto sign, just a little bit of weight, a bit of a lean on those notes. Make sure they're worth their full value. It means all sorts of things. The analogy I like best is bold font. It's the bold font of music. A bit of a but understated. It's not the same thing as an accent. So a mezzo forte, expressive, very expressive. We're telling a story, very obviously, aren't we? And I like the gaps at the beginning of each bar are interesting. You can almost, they give the whole piece a sense of, what's going to happen? A sense of repressing. You can imagine a child sort of getting anxious you have a sort of anxious feeling when you hear this piece. And as far as tunes go, we've got a sort of melody. Is it a melody? Or some interest up at the top. That sort of describes the melody. And we've got some interest down the bottom as well. That in the score, marcato basso, we need to pull out as well. So let me go through that first line nice and steadily. I'm going to talk you through as I go. So holding on to the G. Before I do, I'm using the pedal. I'm using that all through as well. I'll come to the pedal in a minute, but let's just look at the notes first of all. So a slight lean on the G, a slight lean on that G too, so that the chord is mid-ground. And I'm playing that line very, very legato in the bottom. Helped, of course, by the pedal, but my fingers are doing all the groundwork as well. And the way that the gaps, as I say, give it that anxiety feeling. Now the pedal, I'm pedaling basically every time each bar. And at the beginning of the next bar, I'm just putting the pedal up and pushing it back down again. The question of speed is interesting as well. My edition says moderato, and then the editor has put in crotchet 76, which I think is a crazy speed. I think it's crazily fast. I do listen to other people playing it. I mean, the speed I took it at, what did you think? Did it strike you as slow? Mikhail Pletnev, for example, takes them very slowly, but it works brilliantly well. Other pianists will go at a slightly faster pace. It's one of the exciting things. We can all make up our own mind about what speed it should go at. So the pedal is down, and pedal comes up with the left hand. And I don't think we want, it's tempting for those tune notes to somehow linger into the next bar. I think we don't want that, tempting though it is, because otherwise we lose the rest effectively. And I'm making sure there's a little bit of weight on these. Slight sense of groan, do we think, there? There are 2 4-bar phrases I've played there. There's no phrase marks at all, but there clearly are. So each phrase needs a sense of shape, which will be created by slight change in dynamics and subtle changes in the speed as well. And then in the second line, he chops it up, does it sort of, it's on its head, isn't it? And the leaning is now in the left hand. Slight crescendo here, and a slight dying away at the end. And the piece definitely needs that repeat. For me, the structure of the thing works so much better with the repeat. And perhaps on the repeat, we will change things a little bit. Perhaps we'll bring out the melody and the bass even more. Perhaps we'll make more of a crescendo and a dying away at the end. All these little things that we can do to bring variety and interest to the piece. And then in the second half, we sense the anxiety building, and we reach our highest note in this middle section. That is so common, the sort of climax of the piece, if you like. So we go from piano, gradually up to forte. By the way, I don't say this very often, but I play on a digital piano, and the dynamic range on it isn't very good. It's one weakness I have in it. So if that didn't feel very forte, yeah, that's one of the things about playing an electronic piano, I think. But we have to move there from piano all the way up to forte. To think with me for a moment, we have pianissimo, PP, we have P, we have MP. How many different levels are there? Well, here we've got to go from P gradually to F, gradually to forte. So there's an infinite a level of dynamic levels. Are we thinking the same? There's not just 6. So gradually start quietly. Can we make everything louder than the thing before to arrive? Now I've done some fussy fingering down the bottom, I'm sure you'll have noticed, just because I'm enjoying that bass line there. Sorry, we're loud, aren't we? You can sense the anguish. That's an unusual chord, that's an augmented 6th chord. Write and ask me if you like to know about the harmony here, which leads us back to our final section, which is like a coda, an ending section. And it leaves us in it leaves us with no uncertainty that our doll is not very well and is probably not going to recover. And the next page confirms the doll's funeral is about to happen. And really beautiful lines here. That's a diminished chord, isn't it? Diminished chords always sound very anguished. Same thing as that, isn't it? Just voiced differently. Diminished chord. Very subtle, those crescendos, I feel. And then this beautiful line travelling up in the left hand. And there's no rip marked, but I'm absolutely feeling one and gradually coming to a rather sombre end. I think technically, work on getting these chords absolutely together. And it's difficult, especially when you're already holding on to another note. I like the 3rd there because it allows me to do a super legato bottom line there. And you should have heard that louder than the chord. That's really tricky to do, but do go for it. Can you overdo it? It's a matter of question of placing your fingers over the notes and then absolutely together in one motion, sinking into the key, sinking to the key bed in one definite motion. Even if it's pianissimo, it's a definite hitting those hammers. You can feel the hammers hitting the string, and I think thinking about the mechanics of the instrument will help. What am I doing? That's what I'm doing. I'm whacking the string with the hammer. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. Listen to lots of versions of it. And Thomas, please come back to me if you have any further questions. I hope that was helpful. And best wishes, you caught me on a good day with my car broken down, so I was able to turn around this tutorial very quickly for you. Best wishes. Bye-bye for now. The usual order of these 3 doll pieces is usually new doll, sick doll, doll's funeral. But you've already heard the sick doll, so let's give it a circle of life kind of thing, and let's listen now to the other 2 pieces, the doll's funeral first of all, and then, to finish off, a new doll.